Hear me? What's up, YouTube? It's JB here with another episode of It's Broke and time to fix it. Oh shit! So we are broke down. It is I don't remember what the date is. It's Wednesday, January 31st. I'm broke down at a receiver. Got unloaded yesterday. So just a quick recap of what's going on. Last talked to you guys, I was replacing that wiper motor, and at the same time the air compressor was leaking. Freon. Got down to Tampa, got them to look at it. They worked on it for free. It was considered a warranty, and basically found out the guy didn't put any O-rings on the two pipes running to the back of the air compressor, so that's why it was leaking. Come to find out the other day, it started leaking again, okay, after the guy supposedly fixed it. This is TA for you a little bit. So anywho, apparently he cranked down on it too tight and didn't get the lines even. I might could show you. He didn't get them even, so he basically torqued it down so much that he cracked one of my lines. So TA is going to have to fix both lines, so that's going to be covered under warranty. I'll see if I can show it to you here in a minute. 1 second here. Walk around to the truck. Yeah, so if you look right here, he has that lip there. This wasn't level. He cranked down on it, so the pipe in there is broken. So I don't know how well you can see that, my horrible camera skills, but got them to look at that. So now I got to get up to Brunswick, Georgia to the TA, get them to fix that. Hopefully I'll get there tonight and they can work on it. Also, another thing that happened when I got that load from Rochester down to Miami, I've been having some issues with my clutch, and basically the throwout bearing was going out because the grease line that runs to it was broke up inside the transmission. There's a hole, the line runs up in there. It's very hard to see unless you crawl up under there and visually look at it, but it had busted, so it wasn't getting any grease, so the bearing went out. Had to replace my clutch. So down in Miami, Star Truck and Trailer Repair, I got them to fix it. Altogether it was $2,800. It was $2,400 to replace the clutch. That's parts and labor. It's like $750 for the clutch, and the rest was labor. And then $400 when they were pulling off part of the exhaust system, one of the pipes was badly rusted and broke, so I had to get that piece replaced, tack on another $400. Okay, got them to fix it, got up and running for a little while, and now on my way back down to Florida, after I stopped and got the air compressor looked at for the third time, and TA Brunswick, got down here to Florida and stopped, took a nap or whatever, got up, drove, stopped to get fuel, and fuel line broke and started leaking and spewing fuel out everywhere. So broke down here. I'll show you the ground. You can see where the fuel was leaking all over the place. I had to crank the truck up for a little bit, cooked supper last night, so that's why there's a mess. But I tried to patch it up a little bit. Sorry with the camera angle. Try to patch it up a little bit with some JB Weld putty, and it just didn't work. I put it on the second time, tried to let it cure real good, and it worked a little bit, but it's still leaking and basically eating through the putty and just creating a big mess. So I decided just to stay where I was. I was able to take an Uber to Ocala to the Cummins place. I ordered the part, and they shipped it next day from Atlanta, so I got it here. I'm gonna put it on and hopefully get up and running, and I'll show you a little bit of what I'm doing right now here in just a second. So I'm gonna get everything ready. All right, guys, so we're here at the truck, and just to show you where it's at, you can see the putty right here where it's at. Okay, that's where I put the putty to try to stop the leak. That right there is the bolt that comes off. It's got two washers on either side, and that line runs all the way back here, back to there. I know you can't hardly see it where that little kind of coily stuff is. Runs all the way down back to there. Okay, here's the new line right here. So if I hold this up, you see the lip right there, okay? That's where it was leaking out from under, was that lip where this line runs into this top piece, and it was leaking out of there, just spewing. So the line itself broke. What much I could do about that. But this is the piece right here, all weird shaped, so it's gonna basically like this. It's gonna go in this way right here, and we'll put it on like that, and hopefully it shouldn't take too long. The only issue I found is when taking the piece off, once trying to put it back on, you got to undo this bolt here to move this plate out of the way. It makes it a lot easier to stab it back into place. Other than that, you're fighting with it, and I wasn't able to get it on. So anywho, I'm gonna put it on real quick, and yeah, shouldn't be too difficult. All right, so I just capped off that other video showing you where everything was. All right, the part itself, as a matter of fact, I'll grab the invoice so you guys can see it. Oh, let me hop. I'm dirty. I don't want to get everything. So I'm gonna put the phone down. Hang on. All right, so all together it was $50.40. It was $30.70 for the tube, and then the washers were 16 bucks. That's from the Cummins dealership. I had to order it, and they got it down in a day. Got it next day, basically. Got the truck fixed myself and running. Didn't have to call for a service truck to come out. Didn't have to go to the TA, have them fix it. In case you're wondering, why don't you just call the TA, have them order you the part, bring it out to you? Well, they're not going to do that, because if they're not going to work on it, they're not going to order you the part. That's what I was told anyway. Paper towel's about to blow over. All right, so now we're done. Let's see if we crank this baby up and she's running properly. Yeah, if my damn paper towel stay put. All right, turning it over. Everything looks good. We're gonna crank it up. Cross your fingers. Hey, it started. She's running. She's running. I'm just looking over everything real quick, making sure that, you know, nothing's stripping, anything like that. Make sure everything's good. Alright, I'm gonna let it run for a minute, because shut the door. Alright, so I mean, I guess you would call it somewhat of a sacrifice we make out here on the road. So the fuel line broke. So obviously, I mean, I could have tried to drive it somewhere, but I've been leaking diesel fuel worse than what it already was all down the interstate. Okay, had to cancel one of my loads, got it for next week. Customer didn't sound like they were too happy, but honestly, I don't care. Okay, it is what it is. But last night, I know it was colder than other parts of the country. All right, like 20s and 10 and negative or whatnot, but it got down. I'm in Groveland, Florida. It got down to like 40 degrees last night. So I didn't want to run the truck or run the bunk heater, because I didn't want the battery to run down. That way I'd be able to crank it up the next day. I could have charged it and let the fuel leak out. And that other short clip I showed you, you saw the fuel on the ground. That was for me just cooking, just eating. So that's the only time I ran the truck yesterday, was just to do that. I cooked all my food at once and ate it up. So other than that, I left the truck off. Only time I used the battery, one of my bolts just fell off the step. Only time I used the battery was to charge my cell phone. That way I would have it, because they're supposed to call me the next day, let me know the part came in and I could take off. So last night it got pretty cold. Okay, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't get very good of sleep. Very good of sleep. Very good of. It was cold. I put my hoodie on. You see I got on, I got a shirt underneath here. I got 2 pairs of pants on, pajamas, and another pair of pants on top of that. You know, some of my socks on. I just bundled up. Okay, it's cold. I put my hoodie on over my head. I zipped it tight where I could breathe. That was it. I was doing this shit last night. This shit was just like this. That's how I slept. With the covers over my head. Okay. It was cold. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. But anywho, I'm gonna clean up my mess, clean my tools off. Very important you clean your tools. I'm not a mechanic, but I know that. It's very important. Brake cleaner comes in handy. I don't have any on the truck, but I endorse brake cleaner. Oh shit. So Uber, man, Uber's a lifesaver out here sometimes. I had to Uber to the Cummins parts service place down in Ocala, Florida, and basically the guy was cool. He basically, I told him, I said, look man, I don't have a whole lot of money right this second, but I was like, I'm gonna buy you lunch, and then you take me back for free. He did. He was a cool cat. He was gonna take me back for free regardless, but I thought I felt bad, so I bought him lunch. So yeah, so I took the Uber up there. It was like 50 bucks. The parts were 50 bucks. That's 100 bucks. It's not including the Uber I spent yesterday going and getting the JB Weld putty. And then I'm like looking over this way at the camera. I should be looking right there. It's weird. Anywho. Yeah, so thanks to people that drive Uber that give me an avenue to be able to go get parts and things like that. Guy was a real cool guy. So I appreciate those people that do that. I appreciate RTI, especially Big Keith. Road Queen, she came on even though, you know, she wasn't too sure. She at least made an effort to find out what was up. That's what we do. RTI is family, and that's the bottom line, okay? But yeah, man, shout out to those guys. Shout out to Uber. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, do it. All right, I'm just making these every so often. I'll do little updates. Still working on my taxes. We'll get to that. Roughly this year, I was at about 175,000 roughly for the year. And yeah, of course there's expenses and stuff I pay for throughout the year. So really, it may sound good, but there's expenses. So, you know, 175 sounds like a lot, but we'll see. Anywho, I'm done. I'm gonna clean my shit up. I'm gonna get the hell out of here because these people don't like me staying here. And JB out. All right, guys, JB back. Put this on. Had a couple problems, but we got it figured out. All right, so you can see down here, there's not a lot of room for my hand, but in here there's a plug. Okay, but I needed to get to that piece right there. That's the other end of the fuel line. Couldn't get to it because this is in my way, so I had to unplug this. Not being able to see what it is, it's similar to this piece right here. So basically, big shout out to Keith from RTI, Real Trucking Info. Helped me out just troubleshooting it because I've never seen a plug like this. I kept pushing this piece in and pulling on it, it wouldn't come. So finally I had to push on it and it pried back a little bit. But I ended up breaking this clip. Apparently you're supposed to lift up on it a little bit and walk it off there, but that's the main clip that holds it in place. That's just like a secondary clip from what I can tell. I'm not too worried about it. So that is exactly what was down there. All right, a little bit of a pain in the butt. All right, now the line, you can see it's silver, so it runs here, round back through there, down there, and then runs down to there. Sorry for it being a little blurry, but what I ended up having to do was take this fuel line off right here and work the line up over it and weave it in. Okay, so you just got to play with it a little bit, but I took that line off right there, that one, and was able to intertwine it back in there. Now I'm not going to put the clips back. Basically just keeps it from bouncing. One, it's not touching, and it's a pretty sturdy line. It's not touching the top. It's not really rubbing against anything. Right there's plastic. I can just twist that around. Maybe, maybe not, but I ain't too worried about it. Like I said, it's not really touching up against anything, except for probably like right up here, but I'll fix that a little bit later. Also, I had to remove this. It makes it easier to put that back on. You can take it off just fine, but removing that really makes it easier to get it back on. I'm a little worried about it rubbing, but it's pretty pretty solid, but that's not what broke. So I showed you guys what broke last time. So there's the piece right there. Okay, you can see that was the one clip down there that was holding it. That was a bitch to get to. This one wasn't so bad. That's the line, and it might be hard to tell, but cracked up in there around the seam. Just a small hole. I can't hardly see it, but yeah, I'm dirty. My hands are dirty, so I'm gonna have to clean my tools off. But this thing right here, it really comes in handy. I don't really know what you call it because I'm not a mechanic guy, but it's a piece that helps angle, and I use the long extension to get it. So that was really helpful for the piece that's part of the bracket, which was this, which you can't really see it, like way back in there. So I had to like come in over the top and angle it and push it off. So yeah, so real quick, any truckers out there new to the game or whatnot, get you a Cobalt Tools tool set. My girlfriend got this for Christmas. I've been using the shit out of this. All right, I highly recommend it. I think it's like a 204 piece Cobalt tool set. Get it. That orange screwdriver don't belong in there. Ignore that. That's from my other tool set. So all right.